My name is William Britt. My address is on file, 5th District. Honorable Mayor, City Council members. Boy, if this isn't restrictive, I don't know. There was a quote. I said, this isn't very restrictive. If this isn't restrictive, I don't know what is. I mean, what other business is subjected, or what other organization is subject to this kind of scrutiny, this kind of... I mean, let's put it in perspective, too, when you consider there are bars, liquor stores, adult bookstores. This is a major social change, so it's going to be hard for us to accept this, but I think it's something that we have to get used to, we have to get over, that this is, when you consider the harm as opposed to, the potential harm, as opposed to any other activity or any other business. Every time I drive every time I drive down here, I drive past, on the freeway, and 20 feet from the freeway off-ramp are little children playing, breathing the exhaust. I don't know whose idea it was to put a school right by the freeway off-ramp, and we have no problems with children breathing, exhaust, car exhaust. We have no problems with children breathing tobacco, secondhand and third-hand tobacco smoke. So let's just keep this in perspective of the actual dangers when you consider that not one person has ever died from cannabis. A lot of these complaints and problems that are happening could be resolved if there was an agency or somebody, a complaint agency. So these people are hanging out in front. If a business is doing something wrong, if a bar, people are hanging out in front of a bar causing a problem, they get a warning and they say, okay, the next time you do that, but there is no process for these collectives. There has never been a process where anybody could go to complain. Some of the ramifications, besides the fact that if this is passed through the way it is, it will be certain lawsuits. You'll see certain lawsuits over this, many issues on this. Some of the other ramifications is of the 50 clubs that are operating right now, each one of these collectives are paying rent, are hiring people, are paying employees right now. So 40 locations in the city of Long Beach will lose, 40 landlords will lose their rent and the taxes that they pay on that. Hundreds of employees will be fired, will lose their jobs, and they pay taxes and they buy money and they spend money, and these are residents of the city of Long Beach. This definitely has to go to committee. I think we really need to have, it's essential that patients, members, and collectives, and even other law enforcement and concerned citizens have input on this issue. To have it the way it is just unacceptable. Some of the other ramifications, I have 50 letters here right now from one of the collectives asked their members, what burden would be placed upon you if there were no collectives in the immediate area? And 50 people wrote testimonials about the hardships that would be caused by them by not having access, safe access. And remember, this is the Compassionate Use Act, and I was hoping that we could phase this in instead of coming in writing with restrictive, but if we could see a phase in, a grace periods like this, it would soften the blow. That's basically it. Please take this. Please send this to committee so we can discuss this further and address some of these issues. And thank you for.
Thank you. Next, please.